Hello, it's week 5 of season 6 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is The Bazaar. Barney, what's going on in the bazaar?
Gooder comes in the courthouse and he tells Andy that he's Ned. He's Ned at not replacing it. Warren, the deputy, for getting out so many tickets. For example, he gave them a ticket for oiling rags in the barrel down at the filling station because he says it's a fire hazard. And then for Gooder employed matching tennies because he says it's gambling. And then we've seen Warren measuring parked cars' distances from the curb, trying to catch them in the violation. And he forces his help on Aunt Dee with her groceries until the bags all fall to the sidewalk. And she tells him that all this food is for the Ladies' Auxiliary Bazaar.
And he starts monopolizing the conversation with both Aunt Bee and Opie, never letting them say anything, asking questions and saying, huh, or right, when they try to answer.
And he tells Aunt Dee that she needs a permit for operating the bazaar. He says she needs to come down to the courthouse now, and they can take care of it. But Andy sends Aunt Dee on home when she gets there, and he tells Warren he's doing too good of a job. This permit is unnecessary, and the gambling tickets for matching tennies are unnecessary too. But not only does Warren not agree, but he goes and arrests the whole Ladies' Auxiliary for gambling because they're playing bingo.
And Andy takes Warren off to the side and says, once again, Warren overreacted. So Warren says, let's just give him a suspended sentence and send him on home.
So Andy does that, and the ladies walk out. And Andy tells Warren, just don't mess with the Ladies' Auxiliary again. It's an unwritten rule in Mayday. But then on the sidewalk, Aunt Dee stops and says, wait, he still said guilty, and we still got criminal records. So they all walk back in, and they say they want justice. Aunt Dee says they never pleaded guilty, they want their names cleared, and the charges dropped, or a new trial. And they go into the jail cell and say they're going to stay there until they get it.
And Warren says since he was the arresting officer, he's the only one who can drop the charges, and he's not going to do that.
He says I'll go talk to the ladies, but they won't let him talk. They drown him out. And then Andy yells he's had it. He's had it with his idiot deputy and with the ladies in there too. He says if you all want to act like children, you can, but he doesn't have to stay here and watch it. He's going home, and if they had any sense, they will too. And at home that night, Aunt Dee is still not home to fix supper. Andy tells Opie he's going to scramble them some eggs.
And then Harlan comes by with his daughter Corliss. He wants to know what he's going to do for supper because his wife's in jail with the other ladies. Andy says it'll be over soon, but come on in now for some eggs.
And then Fred comes by with his 2 children. So Andy tells them to sit down too. And then 8 or 10 other tarts and young'uns come by and he feeds all of them. And then when they leave, Andy goes down to the courthouse again. The ladies are all doing their wash, their nails, knitting, making themselves at home. And Warren is serving food, and he tells Andy he still won't drop the charges. And Andy goes to sit out front, and Googler comes up and says, you know, if they got a jury trial, he and Floyd think they'd lose, and Warren would win.
And that gives Andy an idea. He goes and tells Warren, we'll give him a jury trial, but he thinks Warren would lose. And Warren disagrees, so Andy gets him to bet $1 on the outcome. And then he arrests Warren for gambling.
So Warren says he's got to drop his charges against the ladies in order for Andy to drop his charges against Warren. And he does, and Andy tells the ladies, and they all go home. Next day, Warren admits he was wrong. But then he wants to check the city Laurel's code when Andy tells him about the kissing booth at the bazaar.
We'll see you next week for episode 6.